Welcome to this episode of Karen Paddock TV. Hello and welcome. Today is part 2 of our 3-part copywriting series. I'm Karen Paddock and I'm your host today, and I'm really excited to just dive into all of the content I have for you today. I don't want to waste a moment because it's a good-sized training, but there's so much great information. You're definitely going to want to up your copywriting game after you see this training. So let's jump behind my computer and check it out. I'll see you after the training. So here we are, jumping into part 2 of copywriting basics. If you didn't see part 1, I encourage you to make sure that you go watch that, because this 3-part series is going to go in order and build on top of one another. So last time we talked about it, and I thought it would be a good refresher to just go over again the definition of copywriting. Copywriting is one of the most essential elements of effective online marketing. The art and science of direct response copywriting involves strategically delivering words, whether written or spoken, that get people to take some form of action. We talked about that, remember? Taking action, and we're going to dive into that further today. So here are some examples just to get you thinking about places in your business that you could use copywriting. You can use it for building your list. You can use it on your business cards, in your free offers, on your opt-in pages, definitely in your blog posts, brochures that you create, your website for sure, sales pages, email newsletters, social media posts, and the list goes on and on and on, right? Because everything we do in our business, we are putting ourselves out there. So we need to have good copywriting skills. Today we're going to talk about the 4 U's of copywriting. Now, I've done quite a bit of studying on the topic of copywriting, and pretty much everywhere you go, you will hear about the 4 U's of copywriting. So number 1 is useful. Understanding your client's pain points before writing copy will help you cater your message to their specific problems. Do your research beforehand and make sure that your message is on the money. So what I mean by useful is when your ideal client is reading your copy, wherever that may be located, is your message useful to them? If you've done your homework and you know exactly where they feel pain, and I'm not literally talking pain necessarily, ow, that hurts, but the issues that they're dealing with, the challenges that they have. If you are focusing on those, then your message will be useful. Number 2, urgency. Anytime you're writing copy, you should have the end goal in mind. What type of urgency can you place on the call to action to get the reader to take action more quickly? So when you are writing your copy, wherever that is, you want to make sure that your message leads to some type of urgency that will get them to take further action. And we're going to dive into this one a little more in the rest of this video as well as next week's video. Number 3, unique. Your copy should always tell the story of why you and your products and services are unique. How and why do you stand out among your competitors? Now that if you look at that just singly by itself, you're going to think I'm only speaking about sales pages, and I'm not. Your copy standing out from others could be a blog post. It could be your newsletter. It could be some free offer that you're offering that leads the reader to realize that you are unique. Your product is unique. Your service is unique. Your delivery is unique. Something about you, or everything about you, is unique. And number 4, ultra specific. The more specific you can speak to your ideal client's pain points, the better your copy will be. So remember last week the example that I gave? The difference in writing copy for Match.com versus FarmersOnly.com. Big difference, right? Because you would be so ultra specific when you're writing for FarmersOnly.com, you would definitely be hitting on the pain points of those clients. So again, I want to talk about my recommendations. I gave you these book recommendations last week, and I thought they were valuable enough that I wanted to repeat myself this week. Again, the book Words That Sell, More Words That Sell, and Phrases That Sell are phenomenal books, and they're very inexpensive. Used on Amazon, they range anywhere from $3.54 to $6.71. They are within reach for everyone's budget, and they are well worth the money. They will help you with your copywriting beyond anything you can imagine. It really gets those creative juices flowing. So let's just review today. What have you learned? We talked about the definition of copywriting. We reviewed that. The places in your business that you will use copywriting. Now, for sure, that is not an exhaustive list. The list goes on and on. We also hit on the 4 U's of copywriting: useful, urgent, unique, and ultra specific. And lastly, I gave you 3 fantastic book resources that you definitely need to include in your library. They are well worth the money. So today, remember, this was part 2 of a 3-part series. If you haven't seen part 1, definitely go back and do that. And if you have, stay tuned, because next week we are going to dive into a very specific email that I received, and we are going to dissect it. We're going to look at what they did right and what they did wrong so that you can model the good and avoid the bad. So thanks so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you next week. Welcome back. Isn't it very interesting how when you start thinking about copywriting strategically, how much better of a copywriter you can be in your own copy. Now, I want to give you a quick action step. I want you to go to your website, look at your sales pages, look at your blog posts, look at the emails that you're sending out. How can you incorporate the 4 U's into your copy sooner than later? And I'll bet with a little practice, your engagement is going to go way up, because you are going to be getting that call to action. You are going to be right on the money with the pain points of your audience, and you are going to be an awesome copywriter. So thanks so much for joining me this week, and make sure you stay tuned for part 3 next week on Karen Paddock TV.